When you looked at the paints, you might notice that I don't have any skin tones. I don't have any peach or any brown. If that's the case and you really, really want to make sure your garden gnome skin tones is that color, you can always go over and get a crayon and do that. Otherwise, if you want to use something funky, like making your garden gnome have yellow skin or something like that, I'm totally fine. Okay, but if you're gonna make them peach or brown, then you need to get up and go get the crayons over in our crayon bins. So I'm gonna do that. You can see if you use crayons, you might end up catching some of the black a little bit. Not much we can do about that. Don't forget to do his little hands too. There we go. Alright, so now I'm ready to paint. I'm going to get my brush nice and wet. And I'm going to start with the red. I'm going to give him a little red nose. There we go. I'm thinking maybe a blue hat, so gently wiping my paints. Carefully painting. Staying in the lines using the toes of my brush. I gave you guys smaller brushes today so you can get in some of those smaller spots. I think I'm going to give him a blue shirt as well, actually. And because we used crayons last time, it's creating something called a wax resist. So that means that the crayons should show up through your paints. If they're not, it either means you didn't press hard enough with your crayon last time, or that you have way too much paint on your brush. So carefully painting. You don't need to make your garden gnome blue. You could choose a different color. I was afraid that if I use green, he might look like an elf, so I kind of stayed away from using green there. Don't forget to paint the little spot in the middle of his belt buckle. Okay, now I think I'm going to give him some green pants. No, actually I'm going to change my mind because my grass is going to be green. I don't want his pants to blend in with green grass. I'm actually going to do some pink pants. It's a very stylish looking elf or garden gnome. Shoes, I think I'll probably give him some black shoes. I don't usually like to use black very often when I paint. I think this would be a good chance to use it. I'm also going to give him a black belt. You might have brown in your paints. Mine doesn't. I replaced my brown with orange. But if you have brown in your paints, you could definitely do the shoes and belt brown. Maybe a little bit of yellow for that belt buckle. Using just the toes of my brush to get in those details. Probably going to make my mushroom red. I'll paint around my polka dots. Very careful. Let's see. Now I can probably do my grass. So I'm just going to kind of paint it all green. I wish I had a couple different colors of green with my temper cakes, but I don't. So I'm going to kind of outline where that green needs to go. That way it creates a little buffer. I won't accidentally paint it onto my garden gnome. I also had a little bit of grass up here next to my mushrooms, so I got to fill that in too. You could paint your mushroom stalks whatever color you want, or you could leave them white so they match the polka dots. I'll give mine a little bit of yellow. And then I just got to paint my sky, which I didn't think about before painting my hat blue, so that wasn't very smart of me, because now my hat is probably going to blend in with my sky. Oh well. So carefully painting in that sky. Remember to kind of outline the shapes so you don't accidentally get your paint on them. This gives me a nice little buffer to work around them. All right, and when you get this far, you are all finished with your painting. So I painted my gnome, painted the grass, I painted the sky and the mushrooms. I decided to leave his beard white, kind of make him look a little bit older. These can go on the drying rack, and I just realized that I did not have messy papers out, so I will get out messy papers. Make sure you paint with your painting on top of the messy paper so you don't end up with a big mess on your table. Okay? When you're done, make sure to take care of your paintbrush and clean up anything else you might have gotten out.